Good morning and good evening. Let us begin the study circle on the compilation of Dr. S Dalal called Looking from Within. So just a recap, Looking from Within, a seeker's guide to attitude for mastery and inner growth. So anybody looking for mastery and inner growth, so this is a compilation for them. And currently we are on section 1, looking at life and circumstances. So we have done the 10 parts and we are right now on the last number 11, meditations on circumstances. So last week we had read a beautiful prayer of Mother, and this week there's another prayer. There are actually 3-4 prayers and they are very beautiful. So we will begin with this prayer in front of us. So Mother says, this morning, as I was glancing over the month that is beginning and wondering how I could serve thee better, I heard the small voice within, like a murmur in the silence. And this is what it said to me. See how very little all outer circumstances matter. Why strive and strain so to realize thy own conception of truth? Be more supple, more trusting. The only duty is not to let oneself be troubled by anything, to torment oneself about doing the right thing causes as much harm as a bad will. Only in a calm as of deep waters can be found the possibility of true service. So it's interesting that this is the prayer that we had, I think, taken up last week in prayers and meditation. And then in Harmony Circle too, this week we had taken some, the first part of this prayer. And I think, like almost all prayers, and I don't say all because some maybe they are beyond me, but I can say all. It's very, 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 very talking about, the things that we deal with that torment us in everyday life. And it's showing a light beyond my regular struggles and striving. So we have already taken it, but going through it again, that, it's like usually when I'm asking, what am I asking for? I'm asking about, what is best for me? What would be good for me? Where would I get the maximum benefit? Which decision is better? Which plan is better? Which investment is better? Which relationship is better, right? It's just me and my me train. But what are we reading here? So Mother is wondering that how I could serve thee better. Again, it starts beautifully that how, rather than just asking, taking, wondering how I get, one will also wonder how I can serve the divine, the God better. So I heard the small voice within, like a murmur in the silence. And what did the voice say? The voice said, see how very little all outer circumstances matter. For me, who is totally, in the waves, going up with the high wave, going low with the, wave that is crashing, If somebody tells me the waves don't matter, I don't get it. But if we see that, and this is the main topic of this section, attitude. And this is what we have been reading, that nothing means anything. No circumstance means anything. It is the attitude that I take towards things. So mother heard this murmur in the silence, that see how very little all outer circumstances matter. Why strive and strain so to realize thy own conception of truth? Now, if we take a moment to reflect, this is something that this is what we are doing mostly in our relationships, in our thoughts, in our basic everyday, that I'm right, I'm doing the right thing, I'm intelligent, I'm sensible, I made good decisions, I have a plan. This is what our lives are all about, 2-year plan, 1-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan. And if you tell somebody you don't have a plan, they look at you like, what's wrong with you? Especially, when we are young and in our 20s and our 30s, especially. So mother is saying that why strive and strain so to realize thy own conception of truth, that what I believe to be true, I strive and strain to realize that, to make sure everybody knows that too. But why is what the murmur said? It said, be more supple, more trusting. So more flexible, more trusting. Flexibility doesn't go very well with us. Trust, we can never have enough. I mean, we will. So the voice said, be more supple, more trusting. And the only duty is not to let oneself be troubled by anything. When we are done with the other 100 duties or 10 main duties that we think we must do, we have to do. This says here that the only duty is not to let oneself be troubled by anything. So this is my duty. You know how they talk about laws, that there are regular societal, country, state laws, and then there is a divine law. So the divine law says that the only duty is not to let oneself be troubled by anything. It sounds like a simple, innocent sentence, and yet we know it's not, because being troubled, worrying, stressing is often a big part of our life, and we just accept it like it's a regular part, and yet it's not. So if I have to feel a duty towards anything, to do anything in any role, for my own thing, it is not to let myself be troubled by anything. And how do I attain that? Like just before that, when it was said, be more supple, as in be open to more things, right? Don't be stuck in my own personal definitions of truth, or the definitions of truth and life and duties and responsibilities that have been given to me. When they were given, maybe I didn't know how to question and I took them, but I can question now. So be more supple, more trusting. Trust in whom? Trust in the divine, and not in that relationship, not in my own not, on my own reasoning, my own definitions, but just on divine. So to torment oneself about doing the right thing causes as much harm as a bad will. When things are negative, it's easier for us to maybe transcend them, to reject them. Even in our everyday life, if a relationship I don't know if there's domestic violence, if there's abuse, if things are loud, we can see them. We need reasoning. We say, I am not I will not take this. I deserve better. And yet, if the same things are happening more subtly, if things are not very loudly bad, we are told to just adjust, right? So how, we say that bad will is really bad. I don't want it. But here we are told that if I'm tormenting myself, stressing myself for kind of, with the pressure that one feels about doing the right thing, ethics, moralities, definitions, and relationships, that this is what is right. If I'm tormenting myself about this, if it's coming naturally, I'm doing what feels right in the right spirit, then that's not a problem. But if I'm tormenting myself about doing the right thing, and we know we do that, others, and especially others, we see that. So a very strong statement that causes as much harm as bad will. To do the right thing, the stress that I'm taking causes as much harm as a bad will. Only in a calm as of deep waters can be found the possibility of true service. So when there is stillness in my being, only then there can be found the possibility of true service. And here it says true service is because it started with mother asking, wondering how I could serve thee better. Yes, Sham.
Yeah, Taru, can you please amplify on this line? To torment oneself about doing the right thing causes as much harm as a bad will?
Yeah, sure. Say you're having some misunderstanding with somebody. Okay, like you did something and the other person feels you're doing this or you did this. And then you can see them maybe going into storylines which are not good for anybody, and you can see the harm they are doing. Or just in general, whenever there's any chaos, any conflict, there is something in me which wants to do the right thing, right? Show the light, give clarifications, kind of prove that I'm right, I'm not doing the right, I am doing the right thing. And you know how we all have our own definitions of rights. So a lot of time I would be tormenting that, oh my God, why can't he understand? Why can't she understand? This is right. I was right. Whatever, whatever. So while we are proving that we are doing right, so mother says it's not, see how the time is getting wasted, right? You have your journey, the other has his own journey. For example, in this example, they will reach where they have to. You can calmly give your side. And yet that's not what we usually do. The other burns and you burn with it. And you say, no, 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 listen to me. See how right I am. See, I'm doing a very respectable thing. But in all that drama, mother is saying the torment that we do, what we go through, the feverishness, the restlessness, कि समझ जाए, क्यों नहीं समझ रहा? This causes as much harm as a bad will. And I think a lot of times also, if we have, 10 things in front of us, and I'm just sitting and I have 10 options, there are a lot of times I might not even choose one of those 10 options because I want to do the right thing. I want to choose the best option. And I'm just thinking and wondering and sitting कि क्या करूं, क्या करूं, क्या करूं, कौन सा best रहेगा? Because what am I thinking? Best क्या है? मेरे लिए क्या best है? मेरा future, मेरा present. So that there also there's a torment, right? I'm just sitting passively. There's no active action happening. So to torment oneself about doing the right thing and not doing the right thing, right? We would not be doing the right thing. You're just tormenting that I want to do the right thing, I want to do the right thing, causes as much harm as a bad will. You know, bad will also causes that feverishness, that movement. If कुछ गलत हो रहा है, कुछ गलत हो रहा है, so it's the same state, mother is saying, because for us, it doesn't appear to be a same state, right? If somebody says, ठीक चीज करना, I'm like, yes, yes, I'll do it. It seems a very positive thing. Yeah. Does that help?
Yeah, thanks for this wonderful explanation. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, on the same lines, Sri Aurobindo had, I don't know if I can pull it up, it was with me. Sri Aurobindo had also said this, that the only duty that one has is not to, let disturbing thoughts affect me, like not to entertain disturbing thoughts, not to have disturbing thoughts. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll share it. I can't find it, but I'll share it. So exactly the same that we talk about, things that we need to do and silencing the mind. I think he said, this, what is stillness? Stillness is not to let disturbing thoughts disturb you, so, and when would that happen? When I would not give them the importance that they cry out that they want. Because I feel that unless I'm thinking, unless I'm trying to sort things out, things won't happen. So these, light, these tell us that's not true. How mother says that, most of our actions are like I'm holding a cup of water and I'm stirring the water really fast. And in that, I have a false perception that action is happening, movement is happening, but nothing happens. But I feel I'm occupied, right? I feel I'm doing things if I'm holding the cup and stirring the waters. Yeah. Sorry.
Putting it in another way around, maybe I'm holding the cup when it doesn't need to be held.
Yeah, that's even more beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Abhi, it's like baby steps. So Abhi, what we are doing is it's like, sometimes we feel that कुछ तो करें, right? कुछ तो कर रहे हैं. क्या करूं, ये करूं, ये करूं, ये करूं, ये करूं. We like to feel and show and believe we are busy. But what is coming out of that busyness? Right? So mostly this is a visual mother had given in the sunlit path, like the compilation, that most of our actions are like we're holding a cup of water and stirring really fast, believing that things are changing. But as soon as we stop stirring, it stops, nothing happens, but it gives us the false perception of things happening. And then, of course, you're right that once we can stop stirring the water, maybe we can realize that we don't even need to hold that cup. Yeah, it's a beautiful point. So just taking this forward. So the reply had come to mother, and mother says, and this reply was so luminous and pure, it carried within itself such a striking reality that the state it described was communicated without any difficulty. Right? It says, right? What is the state? Only in a calm as of deep waters can be found the possibility of true service. So earlier on, how did mother start? That how do I serve? And what is the reply? That only in the calm as of deep water, stillness, calmness. So mother says that, and this reply carried within itself such a striking reality that the state it described was communicated without any difficulty. It seemed to me I was floating in the calm of deep waters, floating, not swimming, floating in the calm of deep waters. I understood. I saw clearly what the best attitude would be, and now I have only to ask thee, O sublime master, my supreme teacher, to give me the strength and clear sightedness I need to remain constantly in this state. So this is not a passive state. Some we might feel कि हाँ बस अब तो कुछ करना ही नहीं है. It's a very active state, and yet it is coming from calmness as the center.
Taru, the term floating is used to make a point that maybe we don't exert a bit too much.
Yeah, floating is effortless, right? How
Mm.
do we float? Till we are making an effort, right? We
Mhm.
don't float. And this is what happens, right? When people drown and all, they are striving, struggling so hard. And if they float, they would stay afloat much longer and the help can come. So floating happens when I am not struggling, striving, moving. I'm just letting the waters take me where they can take me.
Okay.
The mother is asking for strength and clear sightedness to remain constantly in this state. And then this, I think, stuck with a lot of us after we read the prayer, because it keeps coming back in our sessions that mother ends this prayer by saying, "Do not torment thyself, child. Silence, peace, peace." So she's telling us not to torment ourselves. Lot of times in our everyday, there's some struggle, some confusion, some chaos going on, which we feel is the right thing, because unless I think, unless I plan, unless I find the best, how will I prosper? How will life amount to anything? And she's just simply saying that do not torment thyself, child. Silence. No, what is she saying? Silence to that torment, that movement, that up and down. So don't torment. And we need to have a sensitivity too to see if we are tormenting ourselves. So do not torment thyself, child. Silence. And then when there's silence, what comes? Peace, peace, peace. The mother. So this is the section meditations on circumstances, that can be used as a meditation according to this compilation, that if I'm feeling something, if I'm feeling that restlessness, that what will happen to me, where will life go, where will it take me? So what is the message I am getting here? Do not torment thyself. Silence, peace, peace. So there is time, we can take up the next part too. So if you want to read, you can read, otherwise I'll take it up.
Yes, shall I go, Taru?
Yes, please.
Yeah, oh Lord, my one aspiration is to know thee and serve thee better every day. What do outer circumstances matter? They seem to me each day more vain and illusory, and I take less and less interest in what is going to happen to us in the outer life. But more and more am I intensely interested.
Sham, can you go a bit slower?
Okay, sorry. But more and more am I intensely interested in the one thing which seems important to me, to know thee better in order to serve thee better. All outer events must converge upon this goal and this goal alone. And for all that, and for that, all depends upon the attitude we have towards them. To seek thee constantly in all beings, to want to manifest thee even better in every circumstance, In this attitude lies supreme peace, perfect serenity, true contentment. In it, life blossoms, widens, expands so magnificently in such majestic waves that no storm can any longer disturb it. O Lord, thou art our safeguard, our only happiness. Thou art our resplendent light, our pure love, our hope, and our strength. Thou art our life, the reality of our being. In a reverent and joyful adoration, I bow to thee, the Mother.
Thank you. You can go even slower and enjoy every word while you are reading it. There is no rush. Would you like to read again more slowly, or you were able to comprehend and feel the beauty of it?
I was able to.
Perfect. So, O Lord, my one aspiration is to know Thee and serve Thee better every day. I think this point that, how do I serve Thee better is something we miss. One would just go on the first sentence that my one aspiration is to know Thee. I want to know, I want to get, I want to receive, I want to do the right thing, serve. It's usually right now, not in our active lives because we are serving something else. So, oh Lord, my one aspiration is to know Thee and serve Thee better every day. What do outer circumstances matter? Just remembering that this section is on circumstances, so that's why these prayers are talking about circumstances. And the outer circumstances matter to us too much. And that is why we need this repeatedly to know this, that why, so that we can question what do outer circumstances matter. They seem to me each day more vain and illusory, and I take less and less interest in what is going to happen to us in the outer life. Our whole lives are dedicated towards what is going to happen to us in the outer life. And she's saying that she takes less and less interest in what is going to happen to us in the outer life, but more and more am I intensely interested in the one thing which seems important to me. So now outer circumstances doesn't interest her. She doesn't feel they're important. And what is important? To know the better in order to serve the better. How how does one serve someone? The more one knows someone, one can serve them better, right? Even for a regular, like for a help in our house. Some really know what you want without saying much, they are doing everything. And we say, wow, that's a good help. So to know the better in order to serve the better. This is something that interests her, and she's saying that's what seems important to me. All outer events must converge upon this goal and this goal alone. And for that, all depends upon the attitude we have towards them. To seek thee constantly in all things, to want to manifest thee even better in every circumstance, in this attitude lies supreme peace. To manifest thee even better in every circumstance. Am I manifesting thee at all? And what is my aim? To want to manifest thee ever better in every circumstance. In this attitude lies supreme peace, perfect serenity, true contentment. For me, contentment lies in desires, in receiving, in making things, in achievements, in becoming more. I feel the more I have, the more I become. So it is being said to seek thee constantly in all things. Constantly is, I think, an important word because we don't do that. And yet, this is where we need to be, to seek thee constantly in all things, to want to manifest thee ever better in every circumstance. In this attitude lies supreme peace. You know that chant, Om Namo Bhagavate. It says, may the divine manifest in me, through me, manifest in me. So here again with the same thing, to want to manifest the ever better in every circumstance. So that would mean choosing the highest possible option that I have, not to get swayed by the emotional turmoils, not to always just sell ourselves short, not to choose my ego over peace. So to want to manifest the ever better in every circumstance, in this attitude lies supreme peace, perfect serenity, and true contentment. So this illusion that I have, that contentment, it lies in receiving, is not true. The true contentment can be achieved this way, that how do I manifest thee, to seek thee in all the things. In it, life blossoms, widens, expands so magnificently in such majestic waves that no storm can any longer disturb it. So when all outer circumstances of mine converge upon this goal, and the goal is to know thee better in order to serve thee better, to seek thee constantly in all things, to want to manifest thee ever better in every circumstance. So in this attitude lies supreme peace, serenity, contentment, and in it life blossoms. So why is life not blossoming? Why does it feel it's heavy and what is it happening? What do I do? Because I'm still grabbing, wanting to grasp and take the best. But when I'm just being, when I'm just, my motto is how do I serve? How do I serve rather than what do I get? In it, then life blossoms, widens. Why widens, right? Most of my things, I want to say all, but I'll be polite, are about me, right? And when I say me, it's always the little me. मुझे क्या मिलेगा, मेरे लिए क्या अच्छा है, मेरे को बेस्ट क्या लगना चाहिए, क्या लगता है, मेरा बेस्ट किस में है. तो दैट constricts me. But when I'm like, okay, how do I serve? मैं best क्या करूं? मतलब how do I do this? How do I be more available? Be a better, servant here going through this prayer to the divine. So in it, life blossoms, widens, expands so magnificently in such majestic waves that no storm can any longer disturb it. So the waves are so majestic and so powerful that even a storm cannot disturb it. It has its own life. So till I am dependent and a servant to outer circumstances and sitting and wondering, what will I get? What will I get? What will I get? Life will be small. But when I am manifesting thee, when I'm seeking thee constantly, when I'm with and at peace with perfect serenity, supreme peace, true contentment, in that life blossoms, widens, expands so magnificently in such majestic waves that no storm can any longer disturb it. I don't need storms to disturb me. Even a small, slight wind, one comment, one look, one, I don't know, sigh can disturb me. And I keep wondering, oh my God, what did I do? Why did that person do this? What's wrong with them? What's wrong with me? And here it is saying that you can be a majestic wave, that even a storm cannot disturb you. So, O Lord, thou art our safeguard, our only happiness. Now we are all looking for safety. So who is our safeguard? The divine. Our only happiness. We are always looking for happiness here and there in things, in people, in situations in life. So it's being said that our only happiness is the Lord. Thou art our resplendent light, our pure love, our hope, and our strength. Thou art our life, the reality of our being. So safeguard, happiness, light, love, hope, strength. Thou art our life, the reality of our being. In a reverent and joyful adoration, I bow to thee. So where all do I seek safety? Where all do I run to find happiness? What all do I do to seek light, love? Where are my hopes? Who and what do I consider as my strength? So here it's being said that thou is my life and the reality of my being. So in my everyday, I have 100 realities and thou is not one of them. And here it is being said that thou is the reality of my being. So even if we might not fully be here, we might not be able to relate, and yet just to read this beautiful prayer of Mother, I feel is such a blessing. That this is my possibility, this is where I have to reach, that my only safety, my only happiness, my light, my love, my hope, my strength, everything is is the divine. So in a reverent and joyful adoration. So when I know this, I'm not like, I'm happy, I'm joyous that wow, I found it, I realized it. I bow to thee, the mother. So any questions, anything on this prayer? Ritu, if you want, you can read this prayer that we took today. If you want to, otherwise we can move ahead. Even the word illusory here and the last sentence, the reality, they seem to me, each day more vain and illusory, that every day seems illusory and the only reality is the divine. So although this feels enough, this was beautiful to take up two prayers. But if there are no questions or comments, we can take the third one too. So next time then we'll start this next section called looking at oneself and others. So if anybody has the capacity, they can read, otherwise I'll read. Actually, I don't know, it feels enough to me for one time. I think if we read too much, it gets too much. So maybe we can just read the two prayer ones and then call it a session for us. That would be better. It's feeling a bit much to me. So, yeah, I don't think anybody has the capacity to read. If anybody would like to read, they can read this prayer. Otherwise, I'll read. So the first prayer that we took today, starting from this morning.
Yeah, I'll read.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
This morning, as I was glancing over the month that is beginning and wondering how I could serve thee better, I heard the small voice within like a murmur in the silence, and this is what it said to me. See how very little all outer circumstances matter. Why strive and strain so to realize thy own conception of truth? Be more supple, more trusting. The only duty is not to let oneself be troubled by anything. To torment oneself about doing the right thing causes as much harm as a bad will. Only in a calm as of deep waters can be found the possibility of true service. And this reply was so luminous and pure, it carried within itself such a striking reality that the state it described was communicated without any difficulty. It seemed to me I was floating in the calm of deep waters. I understood, I saw clearly what the best attitude would be. And now I have only to ask thee, O Sublime Master, my Supreme Teacher, to give me the strength and clear sightedness I need to remain constantly in this state. Do not torment thyself, child. Silence, peace, peace.
Yes, thank you. So we have taken up this prayer, and it's a beautiful one. And this is the prayer we had taken up last week in prayers and meditation. And surprisingly, we had taken it up in Harmony Circle too, a part of it, while we were discussing something. So it's a very, very, very beautiful prayer, making us question, right? Making us ask the right questions, showing us the way. So, how can I serve thee better? Can I see how very little all outer circumstances matter? Why strive and strain to realize thy own conception of truth? Because whatever I can grasp is always little, is relative. I cannot ever, being me, the little me, grasp the absolute. So be more supple, more trusting. The only duty is not to let oneself be troubled by anything. This is beautiful. And we have gone over this. So to torment oneself about doing the right thing causes as much harm as a bad will. So only in a calm as of deep waters can be found the possibility of true service. So do not torment thyself, child. Silence, peace, peace. So whenever I'm tormenting this movement, this noise, this chaos inside of me and maybe outside too, so Mother is saying, do not torment thyself, child. Silence, peace, peace. So we can take up, we have already done it, but just before we end, we'll just take up the next prayer we did and we'll call it a session. So if anybody has the capacity, they can please read this prayer. Otherwise, I'll go ahead.
O Lord, my one aspiration is to know thee and serve thee better every day. What do outer circumstances matter? They seem to me each day more vain and illusory, and I take less and less interest in what is going to happen to us in the outer life. But more and more, I am intensely interested in the one thing which seems important to me, to know thee better in order to serve thee better. All outer events must converge upon this goal and this goal alone. And for that, all depends upon the attitude we have towards them. To seek thee constantly in all things, to want to manifest thee ever better in every circumstance. In this attitude lies supreme peace, perfect serenity, true contentment. In it lies in it life blossoms, widens, expands so magnificently in such majestic waves that no storm can any longer disturb it. O Lord, thou art our safeguard, our only happiness. Thou art our resplendent light, our pure love, our hope, and our strength. Thou art our life, the reality of our being. In a reverent and joyful adoration, I bow to thee, the Mother.
Yeah, thank you so much. So just recapping that once Mother, she's saying that I realize that the outer circumstances, they seem more and more vain and illusory every day. What she's interested in knowing, and this is, for us, what we should be interested in knowing is just one thing, to know thee better in order to serve thee better. There was this beautiful prayer, not prayer, a poem maybe. Alokda had once shared it in one of his sessions. It was about, religion and practices and traditions and how we feel that this puja would do this practice would do this. And that prayer very beautifully, it had a line that, I will be my offering. How in a puja, in a havan we offer. And the writer, it was translated by Sri Aurobindo from Bengali. I don't know who wrote it. So there was this line that Tujhe malinta nahi pasand, मैं अमलिन्य बनूंगा. So that was his prayer, that since you don't like, malinta is dirtiness, right? It's dirt, it's just filth, it's impurity is actually the word I was looking for. That since you don't like impurity, and since I would not want to offer you any impurity, right? When we do any puja, any havan, when we go to the temple, we usually take a shower, we wear clean clothes, right? We want to clean ourselves, we want to purify ourselves. But what about my being? So the true prayer, the true offering was तुझे मलिनता नहीं पसंद तो मैं अमलिन्य बनूंगा. So this is my aspiration for my life. Sorry, Sham, you had unmuted. I didn't stop. Kindly say what you have to wanted to say.
No, Taru, actually, I missed a word, so I was asking about that.
Okay. Okay.
That of
Malinta.
Malinta.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I missed that word.
Okay.
Yeah, can you please share that poem in the group if you
Yeah, if
want?
I can find it, I'll
You can get
definitely
hold of.
share.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just remind me in case I forget. I forget
certainly.
more. Thank you. Yeah, it was beautiful. So again, it's like, to know thee better in order to serve thee better. So that is something that mother feels seemed most important to her. So to seek thee constantly on in all things, to want to manifest thee ever better in every circumstance. So what is the aim of life here right now? What is the aspiration to know thee so that I can serve thee? And then to want to manifest thee ever better in every circumstance. In this attitude lies supreme peace, which we are all looking for, right? We all want peace. But my actions that I'm doing, my choices, my life is not often taking me towards peace. So, here in this serving, wanting to serve, in wanting to manifest the better, not choosing my little me, choosing the bigger possibility every time, whenever I can, with this aspiration. In this attitude lies supreme peace, perfect serenity, and true contentment. And peace, serenity, and contentment everybody wants. So in it, life blossoms, widens, expands so magnificently in such majestic waves that no storm can any longer disturb it. I'm finding this really powerful because, like I was saying, that even a small gust of air, mild gust, shatters me at times. The slightest hint somebody has given me of disrespect, of non-compliance, of non-camaraderie, it disturbs me. It's like, what's wrong with that person? And there I go. And here I have a possibility that a storm, and a storm is a powerful thing compared to a wind. It would not disturb me. So the Lord is my safeguard, my happiness, my light, pure love, my hope, and my strength. Thou is my life, the reality of my being, if I can ever touch that space. Yeah. So we have taken up these two beautiful prayers today, which were in our section under meditations on circumstances. So next week we'll take the last prayer, and most likely, if possible, I mean, I don't have to say that, and begin the section 2 on looking at oneself and others. So if there is any reflection, any comment, we can take it. Otherwise, we'll end the session. Okay.
So
Yes.
something similar I heard. Um, it was very beautifully put. I'll just try what it said. It basically said कि हम इस संसार के संस्कारों से संस्कृत हो गए हैं. It's almost a similar thing, na? The outer things and all, they've gotten so much into us. But then I never understood the meaning of sanskar, Sanskrit. So I think it all emerges from sansar. So it further said कि basically हमको लेकिन एक आकार में साकार होना चाहिए.
That's beautiful.
Very poetic, yeah.
Yeah, just repeat the whole thing again, what you said, the 2 lines.
हाँ, it said कि हम संसार के संस्कारों में संस्कृत हो गए हैं, लेकिन हमें एक आकार में साकार.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. You know, life is giving me such beauty, such light. So where am I looking? Where am I sitting? What is my aim? What is my aspiration? That will take me where, you know, I'm choosing is what I'm trying to say, because everything is available in abundance. Abundance is available in abundance. But if I sit and say me, what will happen to me? Everything would disturb me. So just taking this last minute to thank grace, thank the divine for the countless blessings that I have, for this company that we get, this opportunity to be able to even have the capability, the capacity, the joy of going over the words which are forces in action of Mother and Sri Aurobindo and others, masters and mystics, which are showing us the light. And as Mother's prayer said, may, may the divine, may the God be my only safeguard, my only happiness, my only light, pure love, my hope, my strength. It is already there, but I have forgotten it and I'm looking for it here and there, here and there. But may I stop looking in the 100 places that I'm looking for it and realize that it's all in the divine. So praying for true contentment, true peace, may all beings be well and happy. This I pray. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in and reflecting and sharing.
Thank you.